JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Man killed in alleged police confrontation had been reported missing. The Hanover police say a man was killed in a confrontation with the police at Caldwell, Kingsville in Hanover on May 8, has been identified as a person who had been reported missing a day earlier. He has been identified as 27-year-old Christopher Williams of Strathbogie District, Savlamar in Westmoreland. The Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force says at about 11:55 p.m. on May 8, two men were fatally shot during a confrontation with the police. They say 2 guns and ammunition were seized. The police say the incident was reported to the Inspectorate and the Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, IPROBE, and the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. It had been reported by the media that the police went in search of a group of men who abducted a woman in Westmoreland when the confrontation occurred. The woman was reportedly rescued by the lawmen. Farmer shot dead in St. Elizabeth. A farmer was shot dead in Burn Savannah, St. Elizabeth on Monday night. Police named him as Winston Gray, 55, a resident of Burn Savannah District. According to police reports, at about 8:30 p.m., residents heard loud explosions, and shortly after Gray was found on a roadway, suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. He was pronounced at hospital. Man accused of sexual assaulting child mobbed in St. Elizabeth. A St. Elizabeth man accused of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl remains in police custody after was mobbed in Leeds District in the parish on the weekend. Police said the 59-year-old was beaten after residents heard of the alleged sexual assault. Head of the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Coolidge Minto, confirmed the incident on Tuesday. The information we have is there's a sexual allegation against him and the community came down on him, Minto said, while confirming that an investigation is underway. Further information is that the child was at home last Saturday when the man allegedly pulled the child from a veranda and fondled her. The community descended on the man and mobbed him. He was taken to the Black River Hospital where he was treated and then placed in lockup. Taxi operator drowns at Treasure Beach. Beachgoers are again being warned of the dangers of swimming at Treasure Beach in St. Elizabeth after a taxi operator drowned on Monday. The deceased has been identified as Dale Shaw, otherwise called Blacks, of a Malvern address in the parish. His partner was successfully pulled from the water and taken to the Black River Hospital. It's reported that sometime after 3 p.m., Shaw and his partner were among a group enjoying the water when they went to another spot known as Blowhole that is considered dangerous due to a strong current. Bernard Sutherland, a fisherman and lifeguard, was among people who went to the rescue.
So funny enough, they call that area blue hole. But when the sea is rough, then that's where the water exits out. When the sea come in and push then you have to pull back out somewhere. Unfortunately, they end up at that spot and nobody never get, But normally we try to warn everybody where they must swim and where they don't go. Most of the time when it gets windy like this, you don't see most of the fishermen on the beach.
In the meantime, Treasure Beach-based hotelier Jason Hensel says Monday's incident is an indication that the work continues to educate beachgoers about the dangers of swimming at certain spots in the sea.
We always need to be on high alert. We always need to do more training, and we also need to do more warning of people who come from outside and go swimming without knowing the currents and the waves.
Pastor to spend a year in prison for punching stepson repeatedly. A St. Catherine-based pastor who pleaded guilty to cruelty to a child was sentenced to 12 months imprisonment on Monday, while his co-accused, his wife, has been remanded until Friday. The court was told that in February 2024, the pastor went to the school of the 7-year-old complainant, who is his stepson, grabbed him and punched him repeatedly. The matter was reported to the police and the probe launched, which resulted in the arrest and charge of the pastor. His wife was subsequently charged with negligence for failing to report the matter. When the matter came up in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Monday, Judge Janelle Nelson Gale told the pastor that it was a violent attack and the sentence must reflect that. The pastor was then ordered to serve the custodial sentence. Sentencing of his wife was also pleaded guilty to the charge against her was put off until Friday. 7 school buses to be assigned to St. Elizabeth, says Vaz. 7 school buses will be assigned to St. Elizabeth in a few weeks, Minister of Transport Darrell Vaz has announced. His statement follows the crash along the roadway in Holland Bamboo in St. Elizabeth on Monday that resulted in 18 students being injured.
I'm deeply saddened and concerned following the reports of an accident in St. Elizabeth where school students were injured on their way to school. The entire ministry is affected when accidents of this nature occurs, and for this reason we have been working assiduously to have the rural school bus system in place for September of this year. The safety and security of our children must take precedence, and despite the unfortunate rhetoric in the public domain regarding the rural school bus system, we will not relent on our commitment to ensure this is made a reality for our students. Phase 1 of the program will commence in a matter of few weeks. We have already assessed the situation in St. Elizabeth, and a total of 7 buses will be assigned in the first instance to the parish, which will benefit a total of 25 schools. A September start date will facilitate the retrofitting of the buses to make them fit for purpose, to include repositioning the doors and other things. Until then, we again urge all road users to please travel with the utmost caution on the roads, and to ensure that if you are transporting passengers, and particularly students, that you do so in a manner that is safe and one that demonstrates an abundance of caution.
Donnelly Donaldson's mother called as first witness as Noel Mland's murder trial begins. The murder trial for Constable Noel Mland, who is implicated in the 2022 killing of his girlfriend Donnelly Donaldson, has started with testimony from Donaldson's mother, who said she last saw her daughter getting into the policeman's corridor gate on the night of July 11. The mother, Sophia Logg, told the court she last spoke to her daughter the following morning when Donaldson asked her to feed her dog, China. Mland is on trial before Justice Leighton Pusey and a 7-member jury in the Home Circuit Court on charges of murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse. The 24-year-old social media personality, swimwear business owner and customer service representative went missing on July 13, 2022, after she was last seen at Maitland's home 2 days earlier. An emotional log said that the last day she saw Donaldson, her daughter had stayed home and rested all day, as she had celebrated her birthday on July 10 and had taken part in the Carnival Road March. Earlier before Log took the stand, prosecutor Lorian Tugwell, in her opening address, told the jury that the Crown will adduce evidence that between July 12 and 13, Donaldson was killed by Maitland and her body disposed of in a manner that is not lawful. The prosecutor said the case is about circumstantial evidence. Tugwell said Donaldson left behind patterns of behavior and DNA that will prove that she was killed. Tugwell is representing the Crown along with Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Claudia Thompson. 32 witnesses are expected to be called in the trial, which is slated to last 8 to 10 weeks. Attorneys at law Christopher Townsend, Chadwick Berry, Sanjay Smith, Casey and Kennedy Sherman, and King's Counsel Larry Smith are representing Maitland. British national charged for allegedly trying to smuggle millions of dollars into Jamaica in shampoo bottles. Jamaican authorities have filed criminal charges against a British national who allegedly tried to enter the country with over $130,000, the equivalent of 20 million Jamaican dollars, hidden in bottles labeled Head and Shoulders anti-dandruff shampoo and conditioner. Trevor White, 42, a musical artist and businessman, has been charged with possession of criminal property, cross-border movement of funds, and attempted bribery. The Financial Investigations FID disclosed in a statement on Monday. He was charged last Friday after a formal interview conducted in the presence of his attorney, Krishna Frignet, at the Freeport Police Station in St. James, according to the FID. White, who resides in Enfield, London, and White House in Westmoreland, was arrested at the Sangster International Airport, also in St. James, shortly after he arrived in the country on May 1 on a Virgin Atlantic flight from London. According to the FID, he was selected for a routine inspection after he entered the Nothing to Declare Customs channel. The agency reported that during the scanning of his luggage, abnormalities were detected which prompted a physical search. It's alleged that the search revealed 3 suspicious bottles labeled as Head and Shoulders anti-dandruff shampoo and conditioner. An examination of the bottles revealed a total of $130,490 concealed in plastic wrap, according to the FID. White allegedly attempted to bribe Jamaica Customs Agency officers, encouraging them to take 2 of the packages and allow him to leave with the remainder of the money. According to the FID, he claimed the funds were legitimate earnings from musical performances and were intended to support business activities in Jamaica. However, he was unable to provide evidence of the lawful source of the funds. The method of concealment, coupled with the attempt to evade disclosure, prompted immediate seizure of the cash and referral of the case to the FID for investigation, the agency charged. He remains in police custody. Keith Darren, Principal Director of Investigations at the FID, said the case highlights the importance of collaboration and the strategic partnerships between the FID and the local law enforcement partners, such as the police and the Jamaica Customs Agency. Darren indicated, too, that the agency will continue to work closely with international partners to stem the flow of illicit funds and ensure accountability under the law. The concealment of cash in shampoo bottles, coupled with an attempted bribe, underscores the sophisticated tactics that individuals use to bypass established financial systems, he said. However, Darren said the FID remains vigilant and resolute in its efforts to disrupt illicit activities that threaten Jamaica's financial system and international reputation. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.